Now, I don't usually talk about the Goblin Curse, and the reason why is because it's not the card I really do use. I don't use this spell all the time, but if I do have to use it because of draft tables, now I'm going to try my best to use it. Okay, I definitely would say that you can't use it by itself. You need to have something that either is pretty fast from projectile speed or give you great value for only another 2 elixir. So I definitely would say when using it, you're gonna have to use it with another spell, of course. But I definitely would say that when it comes to Goblin Curse, I really thought this card itself was a great card. It's a great card concept because it's one of those only cards that actually have damage amplification, and it's. I really thought when I first saw this, of course it was OP in the very beginning, and they had to nerf it. I'm not surprised for them. And then slowly but surely, after they give it some little bits of buffs there and there, they actually started being useful. And here's the problem. Because for top ladder, is literally destroying top ladder, okay? Now, for all those Clash Royale creators that actually talk about top ladder, and do play top ladder, for them, Goblin Curse is really powerful. I know, I understand that for some people who are like mid ladder, they're probably saying, oh, this card is super weak because, like, for 2 elixir, who wants to get goblins? And I completely understand that because I used to be a mid ladder. But I never used Mega Knight because it's not the card I use. Well, I already upgraded to a little. But anyway, okay, when it comes to the Goblin Curse, I really think they're doing a bad idea actually nerfing this card. Even though they are buffing the damage and also buffing the tower damage, I actually gotta show this. So just in case you haven't checked the balance changes, as you should, so everything in balance changes, I already made this in my YouTube short and also my TikTok. So go ahead and check it out. I already explained it a little bit right there. But for the Goblin Curse, basically it's getting reworked. So they're removing the damage multiplier, of course removing it, but they're increasing the damage to 180 to 210. That's a plus 17%. While also increasing the damage for the tower damage, going to 36 to 60. That's a plus 67%. Now, let's be real, okay? I'll be real. If they just added this, if then maybe add the damage multiplier to like minus 10%, I think it would have been maybe a slight nerf. Just a slight nerf. Because the reason why a lot of people use the curse is because that damage implication, okay? It's one of those only spells that actually help you. Yeah, rage can help you go faster. But sometimes rage half of the time, especially since they give it as rework, basically a duration went down. A lot of people started using the curse more because curse, goes well on with rage, zap, arrows, log. It's use something that's like cheap, but at the same time, splash damage can really help the Goblin Curse. Makes it good. And here's where the issue is because while the damage implication will be removed, that's where the uniqueness for the spell is going to be gone. And that's the issue because just like the voice spell was super good because one, it was one shotting everything, okay? Even for Royal Giant, I think it took like down to 1/3 of the health. And for the Royal Giant, that's a lot of damage for only a card that's 3 elixir. But it's super horrible against, troops that, more than 2, of course, like Minion Horror, Barbarians, Goblin Gang. But now, of course, they rework it, and it still suck. But I definitely would say that it finally toned down. Hopefully they do buff it to make sure that the spell is actually more useful. I'm really hoping, but at the same time, the reason why I talk about the voice spell is because I feel like that's what they're going to try to do for the Goblin Curse. They're going to kill the Goblin Curse too by removing the damage implication. And the damage implication is one of the most important aspects for this spell. Now, in my honest opinion, what should they do, honestly? What should Clash Royale do? I feel like the best way to actually tone it down, but also give it its proper rework, if they really still want to go to that rework, they want to do this, okay? What they do is they nerf the damage amplification by only 10%, okay? So you still have the damage amplification, but tone down a little bit of the tower damage and also the damage itself. So it'd be doing a bit less damage, but it still be useful no matter what, okay? And I still think it's a great idea. Maybe because they don't like the idea of damage amplification and they want to remove it just so it can die like the void. But like, I think this card just it's one of those only card that is really unique. And like, I really think this card didn't need it that big of a nerf. Like, I think it needed a nerf. I'll be real. But like that big of a nerf, and like, this could help many interaction change. Okay, I can place it against like a wizard to a musketeer, and then that can actually help the wizard win the battle. Of course, even though it's more expensive. You get what I mean? It's like the damage amplification changed so much for the card because sometimes the card, if they don't do a lot of damage with the damage amplification, it can really help right there. And I don't know, man. It's really hard. I understand for balance changes, it's really hard to make everybody happy because there's some people who say that this card sucks, while other people say that is legit the best spell in the game. And I don't know. I guess for me as a top ladder, I definitely say that this card needed a nerf, but it doesn't need a big nerf like that, okay? I still think that it should have the damage amplification, but make it only 10%. It still be useful no matter what. That's just in me. That's just in my opinion. I still think the card would still be great. It's just not a lot of people are going to be using it every single time now, especially for top ladder. Again, it's really hard to make everybody happy, and I can't blame for anyone who say that this card is basically just killing the game because like for top ladder especially, like it's getting really annoying right there. And honestly, I'm tired of seeing this because now almost every one of my battles lately have been with the Goblin curse. So now I had to actually bring arrows and cheap cards just so they don't get positive electric trade, okay? I'm not even using Witch because I'm afraid they might have the Goblin curse, okay? It's so annoying, honestly. But again, I'm really hoping that working in progress bound changes, they do fix some cards and just don't kill this card. I really don't think so. Because I think it's really unique. It's one of those only cards that, or at least one of these spells that really unique, and for cheap elixir, for 2 elixir, I think it deserves it, honestly.